Hello, we are back and we are doing another project today. What we're going to do today, lovely enough, does not require any tools. No tools, none of this. Yay! So the only tool that you might need is a pair of scissors. That's as close as it comes to needing a tool, because what we're going to use, what I want you to do is gather up any string or yarn or cord that you might have hanging out in the house that's got enough length on it that you can finish this piece, because we're going to make a nice lightweight knotted and beaded cord bracelet. This could be a bracelet, it could be a necklace. Actually, I'll tell you a little secret. This is actually one bracelet and one necklace, and I just wrapped it all around here so we could have something different. So you can use it for either or both. And it's very lightweight, it's nice and colorful, it's a lot of fun. You can make it with, kids can do it, adults can do it, either can wear it, and it's really lovely, and it's great for spring and summer. It's a lot of fun. So the first thing that you're going to need is a bunch of beads, and I just picked out a bunch of beads from my little bead stash, all different colors, but you want to make sure that the beads have holes enough, big enough, that they will accommodate whatever bead or cord or string that you're using. And if you're using string, test it, make sure that it's strong enough so that it won't break once you've completed your piece. Okay, so you need beads that have holes large enough for your cord to go through. You want to take your cord. Here's a tip. I could throw these out every once in a while. Take your cord, and because it is very possible that over time it's going to start to fray because of all of the friction of going in and out the different beads, take some nail polish or some liquid glue and just paint the tips of it around halfway down the tips of your cord, and let that dry. And once it's dried, just kind of pinch it a little bit, and you'll see that it's gotten nice and stiff on the ends. And take your scissors, that's where they're going to come in, and cut those ends into a little point. And that has the effect, it creates a sort of a self needle on the ends of your cord. And that will save you from having to continue to clip off ends in order to avoid the fraying that's going to inevitably happen if you don't have some kind of a little treatment on there. Another tip is to take a small piece of Scotch tape and wrap it around the tip, or it doesn't even have to be Scotch tape. It can be any lightweight tape, and just wrap it around that little half-inch tip of your cord, and pinch that into as small a point as you can, and that also has the same effect. I got that little tip from one of my participants of one of my classes. Thank you, Pat. It works great, and any one of those little ideas should work to help you battle the inevitable fraying. So after all of that chit chat, we're going to get to work. The first thing that you want to do is measurements. Each one of the knots that you're going to put in this cord is going to take up some of the length of your cord. So you need to decide how long you want your piece to be, how many knots you need to put in it, because there's going to be a knot on either side of your beads. Each bead has a knot on each side of it. So how many beads you want to put on your piece, how many knots are going to be required, and how much finished length you need. So those are the things that you're going to need to measure. As far as the knots are concerned, there's no real formula, because it depends on the thickness and the type of cord or yarn that you're using, as far as how much thickness it's going to take up. So the only way that you can really determine how much each knot is going to take up of your cord, is to take a length of it, say 3 inches. Make sure it's doubled because we're doubling this. And so take 6 inches, fold it in half, just measure that, measure out your 6 inches, then make your knot and remeasure. And if you come out with 5.5 inches, that means that each knot takes 1/2 inch. So you're going to add that into your figuring. So let's get to work on that. Say you decide you want 30-inch finished length of cord after you put all of your beads on and made all of your knots and done your clasp and everything. You want it to be 30 inches long, so you want to double that because each one of these is doubled. So you want that 60 inches. Then you want to add on, well, actually, let's start with just the finished length. 30 inches finished length. So you got your 30 inches. You need your knots. Say you want to do 20 beads. Then that means you're going to need 20, well, let's just say 25 knots because you're going to need knots on your ends as well. 25 knots in your piece means 1/2 inch for each knot, so that's 12 more inches, 12.5 more inches. We'll just say 13 inches. So now you've got 30, 43 inches. Then you need space for the ends because you're going to be making a loop and you're going to have a little dangle off the end. So you're going to, I would add another 6 inches just for that. So now we've got 30, 42, 48, I'd say 50 inches just to be safe. Double that. So you need 100 inches of cord, yarn, or string that you need for your piece. Now that we've got that out of the way, the next thing you want to choose is a button or a bead that you can use as a button, because in order to not have a clasp, you're going to make a loop on the end. Take this off so I can show you. You're going to make a loop at the beginning of your piece. There. Okay. So you're going to make a loop at the beginning of your piece, and you're going to choose a bead that will go through that loop and serve as a clasp. So we're doing sort of a button effect. So the first thing you want to do is decide which one of your beads you want to use for your button. It can be round, it can be flat, whatever works. And whatever you decide with that, that's going to be the size that you need for your loop. So you're going to fold your cord in half. Pick your button that you want for your loop and just kind of test it out to see if it'll go through the loop. And then we're going to make an overhand knot. So I'm just going to wrap it around, make a plain old ordinary knot. And before I tighten it, I'm going to bring it down to where it needs to be to accommodate the bead that's going to serve as my button for my clasp. So that'll go through. You want it to go through, but you don't want it to pop back out later. So you need to make it sort of like a button on your jeans, just a little tight, just tight enough so that it'll go through, but not pop back out. Let's try that. That's good. And I'm going to make it a little bit tighter. You don't want it too tight that you can't get it fastened, but you also don't want it not tight enough. And I think we have a winner. Okay, so once I have a knot for my little noose or my button, I'm going to start putting on my beads. So long. So I'm going to take one of my ends of my thread, and I'm going to turn this down so you can see a little better. So I'm going to take one of the ends of my thread and put a button on, or put a bead on. I keep saying button. Got button on the brain. Put my bead on, string it all the way down until it's close to my little noose here. And then I'm going to make a knot on the other side. And it's up to you to decide how much space you want in between these. They don't need to be the same. I can make it short. I can make it really close and use a lot of beads, or I can make it further apart and use fewer beads. It's entirely up to you. And you can alternate. You can do some longer than the other and some longer, some shorter. So I'm going to make my knot. And there's my first one. Let's put another one on, and no, you don't have to put it on any particular side. It can hit anywhere you want it to go. It's entirely up to you. So I have an orange bead there. I think I'll go for a blue one, turquoise, round one, since I have a nice square one on for starters. So now I've got this nice shiny one. Make a knot. And I'm just going to go through this whole thing. I'm going to make a complete piece so that you can see the whole thing in action and see how long it'll take. Okay, got the blue on there. Let's go with the green. No, let's go with the darker one for this one. That's kind of a different shape. Okay, there's that one. Tie my knot. And this is really neat because it will suffice for anyone. I mean, it's not just for adults. Kids can wear this, and it really is cute. Adults can wear this. It's very, very pretty. It's very lightweight, and it makes me very happy because it's just a happy piece. Okay. I wish you could talk to me and tell me what color I should use next. Okay, let's see. Let's do this green one. One thing you don't want to do is make the beads too big. If you're making a necklace, that's fine. You can make them whatever size you want, and especially if you want it to really, really stand out. But if you're doing a bracelet, you want to keep it down to something that's not going to be too big and not going to be too heavy, because if it's too heavy, you're not going to want to wear it. So just keep it reasonable. I've got a lot of glass beads on here, as a matter of fact, because I have a lot of glass beads. So I've got a bunch of glass beads on here, but they're not too heavy because they have large holes in them. I've also got some wooden beads, some polymer clay beads, some acrylic beads. I've just got a whole hodgepodge of things going on in here. I hope this is not boring. You listen to me chitter chatter as I make my bracelet. I don't have any way of entertaining you otherwise. Just putting it all together. And this is what I do This is what I do at home. This is how I entertain myself. Actually, that is not true. I usually will have something playing on my computer as I work. I'm starting to run out of my free trials on Amazon, which is alarming because I don't know what I'm going to do for fun. I don't really watch television. I have a television that I haven't turned on in 4 years. I watch everything on my computer, which is kind of crazy, I know, but that is the long and short of it. I don't like commercials. That's just me. So I wait until everything comes on the computer and I watch it that way. So this is really turning out kind of nice. Next, what don't I have? Oh, let's go with purple, green. Let's go with another green one. I love the nail polish effect. It really is working out well. I can feel it. Feels like a nice little needle on the end every time I try to go through a bead with a slightly smaller hole. So that's working out nicely. Let's go with a pink one. Okay. Now, we started maybe actually doing this about 5 minutes ago, 5, maybe 6 minutes ago, and this is going really fast. I love it. I had not timed it before because I knew you were going to be doing it in the comfort of your own home, and you could take as much or as little time to work on it as you wanted. And one of the other good things about this is that you can put it down and come back to it. When you're working with wire, a lot of times that isn't the case. You have to complete what you start because it work hardens along the way. But this, in this case, that is not a concern. You can stop, go make some lunch, come back, work on it some more. Very nice. It's not fussy. It's probably one of the most organic pieces I've done, and I really like it. All right, I'm going to give it maybe one more bead. I need at least a good 3 inches to finish. So here, yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so I have one more to put on, and that's the one that I'm going to use for my clasp. Slide that on. Make my knot. I could have probably added one more, but that's okay. You know what, I think I will add one more. Ooh, that's another bit of fun. I can take it apart if I decide I don't like the colors, and I can redo. So I'm going to give it one more bead just to give it some length. What do I have here? Oh, I'll put this one on. And that can serve as a second button if I want. It'll be just the same shape and size as the one I'm using for my button. So there's a thought. All right. On the button bead. Tie off my ends. Okay. Test it out. Put this through there. Pull the tails through. Oops, there we go. A little easier if I start with the tails. And the reason I didn't was because I want to string some other little beads on the end, I think. But I can slide that through that way and then pull it through the bead. And I have either a short necklace, I think that's about 18 inches actually. Yeah. Or a bracelet that I can wrap around. I'm not finished because I'm going to take a couple of small beads and put them on the end. Just for the fun of it. Do another little knot down here. Here. And there we are. Very cute. I am going to put it on here so you can see it as a necklace. So I can do one of three things actually. I can wear it as a necklace like so. Or I could turn it around, make a little lariat out of it, also like so. That is cute. Or wear it as a bracelet. Like that. And that is too cute for words. Ta-da! I love it. Very easy, very simple, very summery and lightweight, and just lots and lots of fun. So there we have it. That's today's project. Go ahead and get that yarn any color you want. Get those beads. Make sure you have big enough holes in them. Have a lot of fun. Please, please, please let us see what you're making, because that is what I really enjoy. That's one of the things I really enjoy in the classroom, is seeing what everybody makes. And now I don't have any way of seeing that unless you show me. So comments, questions, please feel free to let us know how you like these. And hopefully everything will be back to as normal as we can get it soon. And as usual, stay safe, stay healthy, stay well, and take care of yourselves. And we'll see you next time, or you'll see me next time. Bye-bye.